Welcome back. You're watching News Across Nigeria, where we bring you news from all the states of the Federation, depending on the edition, and also the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. So this is the show to watch. Meanwhile, let's remind you that all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Do visit m.channelstv.com to see us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We'd also like to urge you to please interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS, and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or if you have videos you'd like to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. Now in the southwestern part of the country, we'd like to bring Ogun State into focus, just to remind you of a few facts of this great Nigerian state, obviously in the southwest, created since 1976, one of the older states in the Federation, also fondly called the Gateway State, bordered east by Ondo State, the north of that their border by Oyo and Osun states, and the west of their border by Republic of Benin, and the south by Lagos State. And did you know that Ogun State is named after the Ogun River, which runs through Ogun State from the north to the south? Quite a number of natural resources in Ogun, like limestone, phosphate, granite, gypsum, bitumen, feldspar, clay, quartz, tar sand, and gemstones, just a few of the reasons why foreign direct investment is encouraged in that state, as well as for vegetation, oil palm, rice, cola nuts, cocoa, cotton, cassava, yam, cocoyam, vegetables. A self-sustaining state, really. And finally, a number of influential Nigerians have hailed from Ogun State, one of whom is Alexander Akintola Sapara Williams, who was the first Nigerian lawyer, Justice Olumuyiwa Jibowu, who was the first Nigerian judge to sit on the Supreme Court bench, Sir Adetokunbo Ademola, who was the first indigenous Chief Justice of Nigeria, also from Ogun State, of course Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the first Nigerian lawyer to head a regional government from Ogun State as well, and the well-known Professor Wole Soyinka, Black Africa's first Nobel laureate, also from Ogun State, and former President Olusegun Obasanjo. And now the man at the helm of affairs, Senator Ibikunle Amosun. And we'll stay in this region of the country with the Ogun State government in this story, where it's not taking it lightly with the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, over its petition to the United Nations Rapporteurs on some sacked education officials of the state. The secretary to the state government, Mr. Taiwo Adeoluwa, accuses SERAP of incorrect conclusions on the matter. According to the secretary to the state government, quote, had SERAP examined and understood the facts that led to the decision of the Ogun State Civil Service Commission, it will have appreciated they were not even remotely connected with the constitutionally guaranteed rights to freedom of thought, conscience, and expression, or academic freedom, which form the kernel of its petition to the United Nations Special Rapporteurs. End of quote. The Ogun State government also wondered whether SERAP had studied the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended in relation to this disciplinary control over civil servants. He said further that he was advising the civil society group to approach the Ogun State Civil Service Commission for relevant information in order to be well guided. Meanwhile, SERAP reacted to that statement from the Ogun State government. The Deputy Executive Director, Mr. Olukayode Majokodumi, says considering the caliber of the sacked education officials involved, it will have taken the permission of the state governor for that to have happened? Take a listen.
We asked them, and our response to that is the fact that there is no issue of conclusion in the action we have taken. What we did was to ask the UN Special Rapporteur in relation to issue of education and right to free speech to investigate. By asking the UN Special Rapporteur to step in and investigate, we have not concluded. And let me take it further. The issue of discipline, promotion, and recruitment of civil servants governed by civil service board. We know that what we are saying is, considering the caliber of those who are served, it will take the permission, either externally or otherwise from the governor before that can be done. So the issue of stating that we have done the gun is to us playing to the gallery. Our opinion and our contention is that it is still between the ambit of what the governor or the government of Ogun State can do to be gracious enough in recalling them. That will be a mark of generosity. That's the way we look at it now, that they can still recall them, they can still be recalled despite whatever they might have done, which we have not decided. We have not concluded that they did it or not, or that the government did this or not. But we are just saying, for the peace of the state. Ogun State has been a peaceful state for quite a long time. So the issue of sack civil servant is just a new one that we believe we should let the sleeping dog lives. I believe we would wait the response from the UN Special Rapporteur. It is that would determine the next way forward. But we are very confident that the government of Ogun State will be reasonable in dealing with the situation.
On the phone to News Across Nigeria, the Deputy Executive Director of SERAP concerning the sacked education officials in Ogun State. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress has weighed in on the matter as well. Mr. Amechi Osugu, the Vice President of the NLC, says that proper investigation is required to know the facts of the case before any appropriate action can be taken.
Regarding the issue of education board in state, the government from source, I think the only issue now is they are talking about probably a case of it's just suspicious, and they are also trying to pass a judgment. So from the NLC point of view, what we think we are going to do is a case that requires investigation, because most times you don't just propose action and then later you discover that you have nothing to fight. So first and foremost, NLC will want to investigate the matter, and the NUT as well, their official report on that very agenda in order to know how to start. And peradventure, we discovered that management, the state government is actually trying to victimize consigning officers. NLC will not hesitate to resist those actions. But for now, I think what is required is investigation, to investigate the process and was engaged before that decision was taken. What is expected of anybody in that regard is not to take laws into your hand. You allow the leadership of Labour to actually take up the matter, because divided we fall. So I believe the people who are affected, if you feel you are unjustly treated, then you allow the law to take its course. For me, if truly they are unjustly treated, they have nothing to fear. The matter will be restored. And if that is the case, that means that there is already a set position to give them confidence in order to allow the leadership to for you to fight a just cause, you must be prepared. Like they say, he who goes to equity goes with clean hands. So in doing so, we actually need to, and I think at the quarter of NNC, we have contacted the NNC leadership, and from there we know the true picture officially in order to be equipped with our files and figures, and then we can now write the state. So it actually will take a process. But as I speak with you, the NNC leadership also will be having their meeting later today, and we also raise this matter to be a case of priority in order that we feed the public with the appropriate position. The NNC of today, I guarantee that the welfare and the right of workers is assured. And I must say it with all boldness that unless cases are not reported, even from our various industrial unions, as I speak to you, I'm the national president of construction workers, and as most cases that will be reported to the best of my knowledge, we will do everything possible to engage and ensure that workers are not grossly intimidated. Neither would management try to just victimize workers or undue redundancy for no cause. So we try to ensure that this confidence is restored. And anybody who complains should bring his complaint desk. You don't just lament and say, NLG have not done anything on certain issues. When such issues are not reported to same NLG. So as a matter of confidence, we are very much sure of our own position that this NLG will not allow its members to be intimidated, to be undermined. Welfare is guaranteed, and we're not just saying it to win it.
That's the Vice President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Mr. Amaechi Asuguni, on the phone to News Across Nigeria concerning the sacked education officials in Ogun State. While that was happening in the southwest, something else is happening in the northern part of the country. And this involves the state government on one hand and some residents of Kaduna on the other, and in between them, land that the state government says belongs to them. Stay with us.